Hello, Capricorn. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read, so of course everything may not resonate. Take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel and Prophecy3 Tarot should read you as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Jeez Louise, what is that? Capricorn? Okay, clearly, I was going to say, clearly there's something going on there between the two of you. What? What is that? Two more and I'll jump in. All right. Okay. Jeez. Whirlwind. Wow, that is a whirlwind of energy. It shows up very difficult, Capricorn, and then kind of goes through this very difficult, just as difficult, if not like slowly progressing in the direction of like slightly getting worse. Not the greatest way to start, I know. Hmm. What is that? What is that? I don't know what the conflict or difficulties or struggles are between the two of you. There is a sense of like, yes, wanting to stay focused on the bright side and stay positive and kind of keep a positive outlook and perspective. That's one thing. But at the same time, there's also like geez, I don't know what that is, Capricorn. Why does it feel and seem as if like someone isn't, how do I say this? They are not stepping up the way, it's interesting because the way it presents itself is like they're not stepping up the way you want them to. And this part of it almost kind of feels like this part of you of wanting them to kind of step up and let's just say like take the initiative or just step up in sense. There's hoping for, there's kind of this like I said, the positive perspective of hoping for the best, and then there's like faced with reality. And these two perspectives aren't necessarily aligning nor mixing very well. And that's that whirlwind of energy of like, well, let's try and stay positive. And then there's the other end of like, but I'm facing and dealing with this, or I'm more specifically, how can I stay positive when I'm dealing with someone like this? And this energy about someone, it's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, they say, but you can't force them to drink. It's sort of like, say, you may want something, you may hold on to that desire or kind of like move towards that goal, but ultimately you can't force someone to do it. Otherwise, that would be called manipulation. To force someone is manipulation. Like if they're not getting it, they're not getting it. But to try and like push or nudge or lean on them or convince them or fight them for them to get this or to do this, it's kind of showing you something. And so whatever is going on between the two of you, it's bringing some things up. And it's that realization. It's like they may or they may not, but at the same time, it's like, why does it? Let's just say, kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they do, but it only after it's like you had to say something, you had to speak up, you kind of had to like, I don't know, communicate, talk. Um, let's just say make a statement. There's an energy here between the two of you clearly taking place where it's like, what does that say? What does that mean? What does that say, and what does that mean about them more specifically? Because what you're realizing is like something is kind of like bubbling up beneath the surface, um, and I don't know what that is. It's like, okay, great. It's bringing up some thoughts. It's bringing up some emotions, and that's what that battle or that struggle or that difficulty is about. For some reason, it's kind of like, let's just say, walk by faith, not by sight. One is believing, one is like trying to see it, trying to see it, trying to see it. And if you don't see it, it's like, I got to step in and do something. That doesn't sound like believing. That there is that part of manifesting where you have that vision in mind and then you take the action and move forward. Yes. But I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this energy of like, why isn't this happening fast enough? Or why isn't this happening to begin with? And there's that resistance to that energy. Therefore, that which you resist persists. And so you're wondering, like, what is the difficulty? What is the malfunction? What is the struggle? It's like, well, you're actually feeding into that struggle and malfunction and difficulty yourself. But like I said, I feel like the more you look into the situation, the dynamic between the two of you, it's like, fuck, this is what I'm dealing with. This is who I'm dealing with. And you're kind of wondering and questioning, like, is there actually a way for the two of you to get through this together, or is there not? And it's one of those situations where it's kind of like, will they be aware enough? Will they be attentive enough for them? And this is what's kind of interesting. Will they be attentive enough and aware enough and present enough to realize and speak up and take action to make this work between the two of you? Or is it a situation where Capricorn, it's like you feel like you're always the one having to do this, say this, bring this up, get the two of you together? Like you're, like I said, like you're the one dragging the horse with you, and it's kind of like they're being a stubborn mule instead. They're wanting to kind of fight you along the whole way. If it's not them making up excuses or reasons or justifications as to why they do this or why they don't do that, and they're just being difficult and stubborn, I mean, imagine that kind of relationship. They just fight me 100% of the way. It's like you've always got some sort of reason, you've always got some sort of justification, you've always got some sort of answer, you get it. Like you've thought of everything. This is a very fast moving energy. This is a very fast moving energy. I don't know what specifically is taking place. Um, what you do emphasize is it's kind of like there's got to be a way to like fix or repair or maintain or salvage this. But again, it's almost kind of like you're having to be very direct about this. Like, we need to fucking figure this shit out or we're not going to make it. It's one of those types of dynamics. Like, if you're not present or aware enough to know when to step up and when to know something needs to be done or something needs to be said, and you're just kind of like la 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 in your relationship, then it's kind of like saying it's a little bit like energetically speaking, like babysitting. You're the one getting up, taking care of everything, and they're just kind of like la 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 in their own little world. It's like, what do you want to do? Just sit in front of the television all day? It's the electronic babysitter. What do you want to do? And if it's not the television, it's the phone. What you're emphasizing is the two of you got some shit you need to take care of, like yesterday. Seriously, it shows up like, can we get through this or can we not? Yeah. I see what you're working with. I see what you're. Let's just say I see what you're kind of putting on the table or laying down. Yeah, and that's the point where you're like, I'm just fucking tired of trying. It's like, geez, and that what you're showing me is the drag. That's the drag of like, that means who you're dealing with. Like I said, there's the hopefully things get better, and then there's the energy of resistance of like, why isn't it better now? That that is what's fucking with you. I want it now. It's just easier if I just step in and take care of it myself. Well, I want it now, and it's kind of like, imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine, like, let's just say, for an example, the start of a relationship, the two of you meet, the two of you meet, and before that you've even said the L word yet to each other, you're like, you're gonna love me. You're like, okay. And now imagine fast forward in time, like 5 years, 10 years down the line, what that turns into. Whatever that person says goes. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love me. It's like you don't even have a say or 2 cents. You don't even have a voice at that point. I'm not saying that's you or them. I'm just using it as an example. I mean, I will say that there is something in there where there's like the self awareness and the self acknowledgement of like, okay, maybe I do kind of, push or nudge or kind of fight them a little bit. But like I said, I do see the two of you actually wanting to get through this. But remember what you're actually fighting for, and remember it's not them that you're fighting. You might be fighting for them. You might be fighting for them and for you and for the two of you and what you have. But let's not fight each other for the sake of my way or the highway, or because someone just wants to be right. Let's not do that. That'll crack and crumble a relationship quick. Interesting dynamic, by the way. Yeah, temper. That's crazy. That is a deafening silence. That is a deafening silence. And that's the difficult. That's the test right there. Capricorn is like, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to be still. I'm trying to focus on the silver lining. I'm trying to keep my head up, but you're also wanting to be realistic. And that's that part where it's kind of like you just can't la escape all day long in the television or the phone. Like you got to get up and do shit. Things need to get done. You just can't sit there on the couch or on the chair all day long and twiddle your thumbs on the fingered treadmills. You can't do that. You got to get up and do shit. You got to get up and live life. You're saying that this situation, relationship has become such a drag to where it's kind of like that's what the difficult part is. You wake up and you're like, I'm already fucking tired. And it's not because you have so much to do. It's because of, well, unfortunately, it's because who you're with. It's because of who you're with. Um, yeah, and so it's about that attentiveness and that awareness and what you're kind of saying. That's why I say like with the awkward silence, like that is some thick tension. Like you can cut that with a breath of air. Just you can cut that tension with a breath of air. Like things are still clearly not okay. I mean, that is. I will give you that. It's kind of like there's this energy of like this knowing of like I know, and that's the difficult part is the knowing. Sometimes it's like I know how to do this. I could do it like that. I know what to say. I could say it like that. I know how I can get it done. I can get it done like that. But sometimes knowing that information and having that type of mindset, what's it like personality type A, where you just kind of get up and do shit yourself, compared to the other types of people or personalities where it's kind of like they need a little bit of a push or a little bit of a nudge. They're a little bit more slower. It's kind of like huh, what is that? What is that? It comes down to control. It comes down to control. And that's why I say like I made that kind of example of like let's just say forcing someone to love you, forcing someone to be loving, caring, and nurturing, forcing someone. You're just like if you have to, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's one thing to communicate and express yourself. Like when you do this, or when you say this, or when you sound like this, or when you communicate like this, it makes me feel like that. That is one way of communication. But it's another type of communication where it's kind of like at someone, where it's like, love me. You should love me. Like, do you know who I am? It's like, wow, okay. So it's like there's some sort of weird hierarchy pedestal thing going on here, even in the verbiage and in the communication of the language. The difference between a boss and a leader. A leader will be like, hey, let's go do this together. A boss is like, go do that for me. Not in a relationship. That shit will crumble it too. And it'll start to harbor resentment and a grudge and get back to that be still energy. That mind will play tricks with you. That mind will play tricks with you, Capricorn. You allow it. Whew. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's that saying? Silence is golden. Silence is golden, and some people can't afford it. They got that chatter upstairs. I'm not talking about verbally through the mouth. I'm talking about upstairs. Okay, now they want to be funny. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. For some reason, and that's what I was talking about. This is that same situation. I've seen it for Leo. I've seen it for Gemini. I've seen it for Aquarius. When people start questioning and wondering, like, do you even give a shit? Do you even give a fuck? And that comes down to presence and awareness and attentiveness. That's what that comes down to. You're wondering and you're questioning, like, geez, there's so much that needs to be taken care of, so much that needs to be done and maintained. And I just wonder if they're just kind of like la 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 in their own world all fucking day, and they don't even realize like we have so much we need to do every day. I don't know what that is. Like there's a there's a question of like, do they even care? And this is very strange territory, Capricorn, because you go into this realization of, do they even care? you're also emphasizing like, it don't matter. Like I said, this is like some weird struggle about control and wanting to be right rather than wanting to be understanding and accepting. You know, it's very interesting how this dynamic is unfolding. You know, the battle or the struggle of the way you think something should be as compared to the reality of how it actually is. Um, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's not so much about pointing the finger as well. It's like so much emphasis on focus on them. That is a sense of control manipulation. Someone who likes to pull strings. Them. They're like finger pointing. Them. What do they say? Don't point the finger because four of them are pointing back at you. Them. That's what stops. I mean, it's like maybe it's not about me. Maybe it's not about me in the sense of like I need to be right or I have to kind of get my way with this. Maybe it's about me in the sense of like how am I being? Am I accepting? Am I understanding? Am I loving? Am I caring? Am I nurturing? What energy am I actually bringing to the table? That's a test. That's a test. It's like coming back home to the heart. Home is where the heart is. It's like coming back home, constantly coming back home. It's like, geez, you travel into the mind for survival and to get through your day and take care of what you got to do. But then it's like, then you got to travel back and then come back home. And that's what's going on between the two of you is both of you are traveling up into the mind of everything you got to do. But then it's like when everything's said and done, it's like, okay, then you got to travel back down to home. And that's very interesting. You don't know where this is going, do you, Capricorn? Kind of like freaks you out a little bit. Like I have no idea. There's that part of the mind that wants to control and like prepare and kind of what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What the monkey mind? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And like I said before, be still. Interesting. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's a situation of the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. That's for sure. Um, yeah, the truth shall set you free. Yeah. Damn. Um, oh, jeez. Yeah, you do know. You do know, Capricorn. You do know. That's that's what's crazy though. I do look at so much love on both sides. I do so much love on both sides, and so even if it's like, do they care? It's like, yeah, they do. The both of you care. That's the thing. There's a lot of love on both sides. There is. It's just knowing when to show it and knowing when to be a little bit more stern and kind of like, using discernment and judgment of like when it's necessary and when it's just not. Ooh. Jeez. I feel like there's different Capricorns out there. You are Capricorn, the devil energy. I don't know what that is, but oh jeez, jeez. Yeah, different Capricorns asking. One is like, fuck love, get money. And the other is dealing with love. Unfortunately, one is realizing like, yeah, fuck this relationship, and then they're reconnecting with an ex. You could be even dealing with another Capricorn. Capricorn, interesting. I think you are dealing with another Capricorn. Um, you get what you give. You get what you give. And if you're not getting back what you be given, that someone's using. Someone's using you. You get what you give. And if not, then someone's taking and using you. It is what it is. But when you come across the right person, it won't be that way. It'll definitely be nice and fair and square. That's for sure. It'll be even. It'll be even. And I don't know what that is, but it's kind of like blip, there it is. So if you are, unfortunately, Capricorn, if you are like, fuck this, I'm going to focus on myself. And even though it's like, it is unfortunate, you do set yourself free. And go figure, whatever this connection is over here with whoever this is, even though I'm looking at the devil energy there, I mean, just like that, look how easy it is. I mean, that is just easy. Even with the devil energy there, that's easy. There's the sun. Look at this. It just is what it is. It's very simple. If you're not willing to do what you're asking someone else to do, then you're using someone. And if you have been doing for someone all this and they're not giving back all that, then they're using you. It is what it is. Kind of like saying, would they do the same? Would they do the same? Or would it just be like, yeah, kick rocks? Like, what? You're asking me to what? Do that? Step up? What? Do more? What? Nah, that's not going to work. That's not going to cut it either. I kind of feel like you're realizing that, like, damn, how easy. Yeah, I feel like you're realizing, like, damn, how easy it actually can be. Like this energy is just, and clearly you also emphasize like that right there is someone you just don't want to let go of. I'm actually surprised I'm looking at like temptation. That's kind of like there's an understanding there of like someone gets you. Someone gets you, Capricorn. Like you're equal. Like, yeah, you just get it. You just get it. You just get me. I don't have to fight you. Or I don't have to try and, whatever, convince. Or hint or nudge. Or try and control or pull your strings or whatever it is. Bye.